said, when you want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe, then you'll be successful. And when you get to the point where all you want to do is be successful as bad as you want to breathe, then you'll be successful. And I'm here to tell you, number one, that most of you say you want to be successful, but you don't want it bad. You just kind of want it. You don't want it badder than you want to party. You don't want it as much as you want to be cool. Most of you don't want success as much as you want to sleep.
Hey guys, welcome to my channel. For those of you that are new, my name is Classye J. I'm a transition coach, and my mission is to motivate, inspire, and assist athletes as they prepare for the transition out of competitive athletics. So today, we're gonna be talking about when I met Eric Thomas. I used to listen to Eric Thomas before the majority of my basketball games. I listened to him before I took the GRE to get into grad school. So going to his workshop and getting a chance to actually meet him in person was absolutely life-changing. So he had a whole array of amazing speakers. And what was so important and so inspirational for me is, like, I was in a room with a bunch of self-made millionaires that looked like me. And they weren't in the entertainment industry. They weren't a professional athlete. You know, they were just self-starting millionaires in the hair industry, motivational speakers, consultants. I really want to pinpoint each of the things that I learned from each of the speakers, because I learned so much from everyone, including Eric Thomas. So let's get into this video. So the first speaker was Chris Daniel. So Chris Daniel was, once upon a time, he was homeless. He even talked about the fact that he had to bury his son. His son, I believe, committed suicide. He struggled. And his main takeaway in his speaking segment of the workshop was reintroducing you to yourself, you know, and redesigning your blueprint. Because what your blueprint used to be versus what you want it to be is probably two different things. And so we really want to talk about basically reshaping and recreating your blueprint. And in order to do that, you have to throw away who you thought you were, throw away who you are pretending to be. Because a lot of us, I feel like, we try so hard to be something that we're not in order to gain notoriety, gain friends, gain recognition, to make someone else happy besides ourselves. Throw that away. Stop living for anybody else. You gotta live for you. And he really harped on that. It was so cool because I got to identify, like, who am I, what I resonated with, recreating my blueprint, and then realizing that there might be certain characteristical traits that you don't like in certain people, but at the end of the day, you need those people in your business or at work or at school or whatever you're doing on a team to be successful. Everyone has something special to bring to the table. So I really enjoyed the segment with Chris Daniels. And I'm also gonna leave all of the information for each of the speakers down below, their social handles, their websites, in case you want to deep dive on any of them. So that was Chris Daniel. He was amazing. Next, we're gonna hop into Shawn Stevenson. So Shawn Stevenson is a best-selling author, and he has the #1 health podcast on iTunes, the #1. Called The Model Health Show. Check it out. I hadn't listened to it before I went to the conference, and after, like, going to the conference, talking to him and his wife, Ann Stevenson, is an absolute angel. She was so sweet. I didn't tell you guys in the beginning of the video, but I upgraded to the VIP package. So I did the workshop the entire day, and then I went to an intimate dinner with the speakers and some other people that upgraded to VIP, where I got to speak to the speakers, and I spent a lot of time talking to Ann Stevenson. She was so sweet, such a wonderful lady. But anyway, so Shawn Stevenson is obviously a health guy, a health guru. If you listen to his podcast, which we're gonna link below for you guys, he talked about you don't need to be in the gym, pumping iron, get into the gym 6 days a week to be fit, right? He honestly put it down into something that literally every person can do, right? Some of his takeaways were eat 1 to 2 green leafy vegetables a day, or more, but at least 1 to 2. Have 3 sources of healthy fat. So healthy fats can be like nuts, it can be like some type of oils that you cook with. Have 3 sources of those a day, and drink a lot of water. So I personally drink a lot of water. If you see me at school or at work, let me tell you, I have this thing on deck all the time, like all the time. I drink 2 of these a day, and it's like the proper water intake that I personally need for my body. So he's like, drink water, drink it. Speaking of drinking water, you gotta stay hydrated. And then he said the most important thing, getting sleep. If you sleep 7 to 8 hours a day, you can lose up to 55% of body fat. 55% of body fat can be contributed just to sleeping, not working out, not eating clean, just getting an adequate night's sleep. And I was like, what? All I gotta do is sleep? Sometimes it's hard to get that sleep in, right? It's hard to get 7 to 8 hours to sleep in. So basically what he was saying was, if you're having a hard time sleeping, here are some tips and tricks. Number 1, have an evening ritual. He harped on how important having an evening ritual is. Also having a 30-minute screen sabbatical at night, which means getting away from your phone for 30 minutes. For the last 30 minutes before you go to sleep, put your phone in a different room or put it on a charger, get it away from you. And he also said, your bedroom should be a sleep sanctuary. That means no TV in the bedroom. Most importantly, he was like, get off the bandwagon train. Like, everybody wants to do some bandwagon diet, you know, keto is the big thing right now, so everybody want to be keto. Like, being vegan, after I saw What the Health, I was like, I want to be vegan. I don't want to eat any animal products. Like, I definitely hopped on that bandwagon, I'm not gonna lie, and I lasted 2 weeks. But he's like, get away from that bandwagon stuff. Like, you have to do what's best for you and your body, because what works for someone else is not necessarily gonna work for you. So you have to figure out what works for you, what works for your body, get in tune with your body, and create a regimen and a lifestyle that works for you. So the next speaker was CJ Quinney. He is the president of Eric Thomas and Associates. So he's the right-hand man for Eric Thomas. But let me tell you something, like, he is amazing in himself. So he has a really cool children's book that he wrote dedicated to his son. He talked about being the right person, but doing the right thing. Figure out what your lane is and stay in your lane, right? And the thing that I want all of you guys to realize is we all are the right people. We all are meant to be on this earth to do amazing things. However, are you doing the right thing? And that's a segue into, he said, forget your passion, go with your gift. And I was like, whoa, okay. I wanted to hear a little bit more. And what he basically said was, your gift is something that comes easy for you, but hard for others. So once you identify what your gift is, apply that to your life. And so that's what he was talking about, being the right person, doing the wrong thing, get in your lane, figure out your gift. And he also talked about the USP, identifying what your USP is. My unique selling proposition is, I'm a former D1 hooper, turned techie, I guess. But I was able to literally land a job at a really big tech company with no work experience, from athletics into the tech world. Now I'm a coach helping people do exactly what I did, because I know the secret sauce into what you can do to go from being an athlete with no work experience to getting an amazing job where you get corporate visibility, you get visibility from your leadership, you're able to climb the corporate ladder. So that's kind of my USP, right? Former athlete, now I'm a working professional, now I'm a transition coach. So identifying what my USP is and making sure that I broadcast that and showcase that to the world. So CJ Quinney, I definitely loved his segment. It was definitely dope. So the next speaker that we had was Maja Sly. Now Maja Sly has been killing the hair game industry in Atlanta since she was 24 years old. And she grew up around hair. Her uncle was a hairstylist, but from a young age, she was really able to learn from people that she was around what not to do. She was used to being around hairstylists that didn't save their money, that didn't show up on time, that didn't put in the work and the hours. So she learned from them, and that's how she was able to create her own business at 24. She also talked about, you don't need to be the best to be the best. And I was like, yo, what? Say that one more time, Maya. And you don't need to be the best to be the best. Now, what does that mean? She said it herself. She was not the best hairstylist. However, when all the other hairstylists were leaving at 5 o'clock, guess what? She was staying there because she knew that working professionals got off at 5 o'clock, and so she was gonna get walk-ins, right? She's like, I wasn't the best hairstylist, but I put in the time and the effort, and that's why I was able to get to a point where I opened my own salon. I learned from that because I was like, I don't need to be the best life coach to be the best transition coach for athletes. I just have to put in the work, the energy, and it's like, that is so applicable to anything in life, right? No matter what industry that you're going to get into, know that the CEO is not necessarily the best employee at that company, because you don't have to be the best to be the best, right? So now we're going to jump into Jamal King. So Jamal King, man, his story, it woke me up, honestly. It really woke me up. So Jamal King was a former football player, and he was like, I'm gonna go pro. He thought he was gonna go pro. I mean, he was told by his coaches when he came to the school that he went to, like, you do boop, 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 boom, you're gonna go pro. That's not really what happened to him. His mom and dad were cops in Chicago. He ended up being a cop in Chicago while he was in training. One crazy night, like, he was running after somebody. The person pulled a gun on him and was about to shoot him in the head. He grabbed the gun and the bullets went over his head. I mean, he was like a living, breathing angel, clearly. And then I guess his partner heard the gunshots and didn't realize like Jamal and the guy were tussling and was like shooting in their direction, almost shot Jamal. So he like dodged hella bullets. And then, however, his partner shot into an apartment complex. So the other cops pull up and they were like, well, we're gonna have to detain you guys in the back of the cop car. And Jamal's like, what? My parents were cops. You know, I'm a cop. I've never been detained in the back of a cop car. But they were basically saying if somebody was murdered or someone, not murdered, if somebody was shot in these apartment complexes, like because of his partner, he was gonna get in trouble too. Thankfully, no one was hurt. But from that moment, he realized, yo, I want more for my life. And that sparked something in him to, one, he still is a cop today, but he wanted to start investing in real estate and property. So at the age of 23, he invested in his first piece of property because he was like, here I am making $40,000 a year at the time as a cop, putting my life on the line, and I was gonna get in trouble or, you know, lose my job over something that somebody else did. He was like, that's crazy. He's like, I want more for my life, right? And he also talked about the fact of after that incident happened, one of his friends, I think that was on the Baltimore Ravens, flew him out. And he was seeing how his friend was living who was in the league. And he was like, y'all want to live like this. Even though I'm not in the league, I still want to live like this. And so that sparked something inside of him to invest in his first real estate property at the age of 23. So from that, he invested in more real estate, opened up a couple daycares, opened up a security company. Like, he didn't let that one isolated incident or the fact that he didn't go pro stop him from his dreams and the type of life that he wanted to live. So he was talking about, I became the bank for myself. Some of the takeaways that he had was, one, things don't always go as planned, right? For him, he thought he was gonna go into the league, and he didn't go into the league, but he still became a millionaire. He found another way, right? Two, it's all about who you hang around with. So you gotta step outside your circle. If you wanna be a millionaire, you gotta hang out with millionaires, right? You can't sit up here and hang around people that never seen more than 20K in their bank account and get advice from them. You need to hang around people that you aspire to be like, right? He also talked about investing in himself, mentally, physically, socially, emotionally, financially, investing in yourself. He also really talked about visualization, writing down the life that you want and visualizing it and then going and getting it. And I thought was so funny. He was like, stop investing in things that have expiration dates. I'm gonna tell you again, stop investing in things that have expiration dates. Because you invest money in stuff that expires after a certain period of time, that's a throwaway money. So for him, it was all about creating generational wealth. And I was big on that because that's something that I'm trying to do, right? I wanna make sure that I'm wealthy enough to live the life that I wanna live and also leave a legacy behind for the generations after me that are to come. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love that. That was huge, that was big. Eric Thomas. I learned so much from all these other speakers. And then the main event was listening to Eric Thomas. And man, like I told you guys, I listened to him before the majority of my basketball games. I listened to him, before the GRE. I listened to him like all the time. It's just so motivational and inspiring and influential. If you don't know his story, you can literally like read about him, linking everything below. But he talks about the fact that he was homeless, right? Things can't get any worse from him, right? He didn't have a father figure in his life and he was homeless. He was living on the streets and he was eating out of garbage cans. And for him to go from that to where he is now, I mean, just being in his presence was an absolute honor. The fact is, we were all at that conference because we knew what we wanted in life. I think a lot of us know what we want in life, but we don't know how to get it. So at that time, we weren't in control. So that's why he named the title of his workshop, Take Control, because it was time for us to take control of the lives that we want to create for ourselves. He talked about working on your mainframe. You can't have a poverty mainframe and expect to make millions. That doesn't make sense. And I feel like him talking about the mainframe and Chris Daniels talking about the blueprint, those are a correlation, right? The blueprint of your life. What do you want your life to look like? And it starts with creating and fixing your mainframe. He also talked about the fact that 80% of communication needs to be in person. So he told a story, he's like, y'all millennials, y'all just want to text and tweet and be on social media. Nah, I want to talk to people in person. And that's true, because a lot of stuff gets misconstrued via text or even on the phone, talking on the phone with someone, just because they don't see your face and your facial expression. So he was like, 80% of communication needs to be in person. That's not really realistic for all of us, but I feel like if you hop on like FaceTime or, talk, you figure it out. but don't have any serious conversations via text. It's not gonna be productive. It's not gonna go anywhere. He also talked about you cannot be afraid to let people go. And that really resonated with me, because in order to get to where you want to get to in life, you're gonna have to let go of things and people that are holding you back. And it's okay to, you know, be like, man, I really care about this person, man, I really love this family member, but they can't go with me to the top. Their mainframe is not where my mainframe is. So I can't take them where I want to go to. You know what I'm saying? I can't take them where I want to get to, because they're not ready. They're not in the place mentally, physically, and emotionally to get to that next level. He also talked about the things that have to die, having a mindset of limitations, limiting yourself, playing small to the world. Cut it. Excuses, cut it. Mindset of limitations, cut it. Know that everything that you want in this world is out there. The money that you want in your bank account is out there. The followers that you want on Instagram, they're out there. The house that you want to buy is out there. The degree that you want is out there. But you have to go get it. Why can this person have it but not you? Go get it. You have to let go of that mindset of limitations. Know that anything that you want in this world, you can go get it. You gotta fall in love with the process. He talked about that. And we always talk about hashtag trust the process. You have to fall in love with the process. So 2 last things that he really talked about that I really, really enjoyed. Number 1, he said you gotta get 3 accountability partners. I'm still struggling to figure out who I want those accountability partners to be for me. But he's like, you gotta find 3 people and tell them the things that you want in the timeline that you want to get to, and have them hold you accountable for it, right? He also talked about having a burial service for the old you, the you that had the limiting mindset, the you that was making excuses, the you that wasn't in control. Have a legitimate burial service, dig a hole, write the things you want to let go, bury that, and the old you is dead and the new you is here. I mean, literally there was so much I learned from each of these speakers, like so much. Seeing Eric Thomas in person, if you ever have a chance to go see him in person, please do it. Because it was so life-changing for me. I realized I need to take control of certain things in my life, and I need to get to the point where I'm ready to let go of the excuses, ready to let go of my limiting mindset, and go for it. Take control now. I want you to start thinking of things that you can do in order to take control of your life today. Today, and comment below on the things that you want to do to create the new you. That is my task for you. I'm gonna do that too, and I want you guys to do it too. Comment below, shoot me a DM, shoot me an email, whatever. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. Like, comment, subscribe. If you haven't already, join my list of Shakeout Soldiers. Thank you so much for watching.